2, 1, action.
Greetings and salutations, TV land. Today we have a very unusual show for us. Today we have a very
love.
We got
He looking at the wrong camera, TV land.
we got a special guest here today, and he's the son of one of my best friends. And this son is the son of Keith Ellison, and this is Jeremiah Ellison, and he's the 5th Ward City Council person. Jeremiah, we are so honored to have you here today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
That's the pleasure.
Also, he's the son of Kim Ellison too.
That's right. Oh, that's right.
You can't forget to say the mommy too.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Keith and Kim, they have been around for a long, long time. But he just shared with me something today that I took for granted a long time ago, that Keith is way older than he is. But he's not. He's still got milk on his breath. Yo, that's because, well, I'm in my 70s, so I can talk stuff. Because he's still in his 20s. So you know he still got milk on his breath. But he's doing a lot of things for the community. He's working on a bill, something similar to the one that his daddy Keith wrote and Karen Clark wrote. This UD amnesty bill. But he's going to explain exactly what his bill is called and the reason that you should support him in the writing of this bill. Share with our television audience what you're working on.
So we're working on a limited look-back policy, which would have basically 3 parts to it. One is that it would place limitations on how much your credit score affects your ability to get an apartment.
Okay.
2, it would place a limited look-back on how far your landlord can look at your eviction history and consider it against you when looking to rent to you. And 3 is a limited look-back on your criminal history, meaning they can't look. If you've got a crime that's way behind you, you've totally changed your life, and you're
20,
moving
30
forward,
years ago.
That will no longer be a barrier to your ability to get housing.
Right.
The reason I think it's important is because some people might have some blemishes on their record, right? Whether it's credit or eviction or criminal, but people put things behind them, right?
Yes.
And yet we make their ability to get housing and secure dignified and stable housing. We tend to make that into almost a life sentence for people.
Yeah.
It is.
And so, so I think it's important that we remedy this.
Well, you know what though? I'm glad to hear you say that, Jeremiah, because for years I've been testifying and saying that punishing somebody for 7 to 10 years because they lost their job or they got fired, they weren't able to pay their rent, that's a criminal, to me, is a criminal offense because of the fact that people don't know when their job is going to close up. Just like they closed up Targets, they closed up a lot of the people that sells the televisions and stuff. What was that? Best Buy. They closed up Sears, and and all of these places employed a lot of people. So that means that a lot of people was out there, they happen to look for something that's beneath them, but they don't have no other choice. Because if you can't get nothing but a custodian job or a maintenance job, even though you got bachelor's degrees, associate degrees, master's degrees, you have to take what the system allows you to have. And I personally, television audience, feel that this is a travesty to justice because this is a direct violation of our 14th Amendment under the Constitution. And
The equal right protection you're talking about, right? 14th Amendment. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you something. People are being punished. This UD is such a satanic law. It's crippled so many families. It's broke up so many families. And I've known women to leave their husband, take their children with him because he's not able to pay the rent. Or I've known men to leave their families because they aren't able to get a job to take care of their families. And so I'm not saying that these UDs creates this necessarily, but to an extent, these UDs have put a damper on a lot of people's personal lives and stuff. Because when you
One
can't,
thing I think about is the fact that when people have safe and secure housing, dignified housing, right, that doesn't have mold, that doesn't have other kinds of issues, other areas of their lives start to improve, right? The likelihood that they are gonna commit another crime, the likelihood that they can keep a job, all that stuff.
That's right.
It goes up when they have safe and secure housing.
It does. It does.
In the Star Tribune reported earlier this year that homelessness across the state went up 10%. Right, 10%. That's a large percentage for homelessness across the whole state. Right.
That is.
That means that you're going to have folks who, as they begin to rebuild their lives, right, they're inevitably going to have
to do criminal acts.
Well, even if they don't have to do criminal acts, as they start to rebuild their lives, they may have a UD on their record, right?
Oh yeah, they will.
And as they start to do better for themselves and start to transition back into society, if that UD is 2-3 years behind them and they've proven that they can enter back into the housing market,
they can handle an apartment.
They should be able to do that. Right now, we've got a system that, like you said, people have their eviction history as a blemish on their record for 7 to 10 years.
Yeah,
yep.
that's ridiculous.
And that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's too much. So,
but one of the things that we was able to come up with too is the tenant training and certification program. See, a lot of people don't know how to be good tenants. You can't have people running in and out of the house. You can't be playing the music real loud 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and disturbing the neighbors, because this is a cause for you to get evicted. Now, this UD amnesty bill is the main thing that's going to clean up people's records. But the tenant training and certification lets everybody know that these people, they're serious about keeping an apartment. The landlords is going to give them another opportunity because of the fact they have this certificate. And these certificates are very important. And landlords, for those of you who I haven't contacted as of yet, and those of you who I have, I still need to have your name so that I can say that these are some of the people, when I send tenants out, people out to get apartments, where these are the places that you can look for to get an apartment. Because see, my wife, she's a mystery shopper. And
She talk too much TV land. He's not supposed to tell people that. Now I'm not.
and she goes and sees, and I went with her on a couple of occasions, and the amount of money that these people are charging for a 2-bedroom, $1,400 they wanted us to pay, and this just for a 2-bedroom, and that was in the downtown area. Well, that was some
I
years
used to be
ago.
one. I haven't did it in over a year and a half. But now let me tell you what it is downtown, and those beautiful apartments and lofts. Number one, the living room's too little. I gotta have a great big living room, a little tiny
and
box
a big closet
living room
too.
where you can just put a big TV in there and a couch. That's not enough room. But anyway, the 1 bedroom was like $1,500, $1,600. 2 bedroom was $1,700. No, it couldn't have been $1,800, $2,000. But we heard on the news 2 weeks ago that they need more people to rent downtown. They said because they're going up to $2,500 to $3,000 on those little apartments downtown. Now, if you can afford that, you can get a house, right?
Sure, okay.
Nobody's not going to pay that type of money. That's why there's not a lot of people down there. And because who's going to pay? But I'm going to tell you what you need to do. It's very disturbing how high this rent is. It's
They
like
need to put a
New
cap
York and
on it.
California. They need to put a cap. Don't keep going up on the rent.
That's what Jeremiah
That's what you
was
all
saying.
working on?
The 3-part program that he's working on.
Well, let
one
me
is
tell him
that-
again, Jerome.
Oh yeah. So
Tell
we're,
him,
so
let
we're
him
working
talk.
on a limited look back policy, and we're not currently as a city exploring any kind of rent caps. But I think it's an idea, and it's not a new idea. And you guys are. I think it's a. You guys aren't the first ones to propose that. Currently, there's not an idea for us to do a rent cap at the city. There's disagreements about whether or not the city can do it. But regardless, I think people are feeling that rent pressure, and we've got to figure out a way to make it affordable for people to live in this city. And it can't just all rely on subsidy alone, right? We've got property owners and building managers have to be willing to
work with people.
Work with the people who live in the city.
You know, I'm going to say something to you, Len. Now, this is the way I look at it now. Nothing to do with Jeremiah, but you know, we have a controversial TV show, and Love and I speak our mind. Now, the reason why I think you keep going up on the rent, keep going up, because you don't want people that's not making a lot of money to live here. I'm saying it real nicely, you know. You really don't, because you know good and well, it would take maybe 3 incomes to pay $1,200 for 2 bedrooms.
And what's
Like 3, not even 2 bedrooms.
they want you to have
children,
3 times as much.
Oh yeah, you got to show what you call it. Now we did this recently. Now we did do this. We're down to a few apartments, you know, pretending,
That we was
and you know
gonna
we
do.
was gonna get the place. And guess what?
150 for
This way he said
administration.
150 for admit. Now he didn't know what admit was. I know
sure
what it is
didn't.
because when we do the mystery shop. But have I not did that, I want to know what it is. The admit that they were asked is admittance. This is what they want to do.
And security
call
department.
and check on your, you know. That stuff
they-
is free, actually. It really is free.
And they
But
want
if
you to
have
have
pay,
rent.
it's no more than $30.
They want you to have rental insurance
Oh
now.
yeah, that's right. Now you gotta have rental insurance, and they calls and check too. Okay, then you got an admin fee, and then this before you move in there now. Now what if you don't get the place and you really got the rental insurance? You see what I'm saying? All the gains they pull.
Right.
Okay, and then they want 3 times as much. You gotta show, say, to rent $700. Just show them that you made $2,100 that month. Some people don't make that, you know. Okay, and then they want the deposit.
Deposit, rent deposit.
Yeah, they want
The same amount that your rent is.
Now look, who got that type of money? And that's why, you know what? At first, out of desperation, some people would take those apartments, but then right
they
down
know
the
they
line, they
can't
can't
afford
afford to pay it. And then they have to move, or they'll be late. And they don't want you to be late. Some landlords will say on the 1st, some will give you up to the 5th, but some of them, you better have it on the 1st. Now, say if your mother died, seriously,
And you gotta
I got to
bury
use
her.
that, because that did happen to me. Say if your mama died and you couldn't work,
Yeah.
I had to go all the way down to Chicago, you know, to
To
the
bury
funeral,
Right.
you know. And Love, he was working at Turning Point at that time, but the contract, they said they couldn't afford to pay him no more. So I'm doing Medical Vista, 'cause I'm tired of nurse. I'm a nurse, you know, but I get sick of that sometimes. So, you know, stressful, you
So
know.
she
So
stopped
I went to
teaching.
Medical Vista, you know, helping the people, Mayor Kelly's
Right.
Read program, Capital City Initiative. We told that landlord we had renting our house over there on 27 and what was that? 27
Fremont.
DuPont. And so, and so now I told these people, Craig and Kenneth, I said, my mom just died of cancer. I got to go to Chicago. I had to go there to come back and go. So, you know, you need money to go down there, you know. And they said, okay, well, we feel sorry for you. I gave him half the money. I gave $600. That's all I had. I said, now, when I come back, I can give you the rest. I need 2 more weeks to work. And it wasn't going to be a Medical Vista because I had planned on going, you know, give me a nursing job, right? They said, okay. So when we got back, what happened, Love?
They wanted
said
us
we had
to move.
Now, I think that was heartless. You know, that my 73-year-old mom died. And see, if I'd known that, you wouldn't have got that first $600. You know what I'm saying? I would have kept on. And that's the kind of games they pull.
Yeah.
They'll keep your money and say, it's okay. And then...
And they be playing like they are paying some people to screen you and stuff, and you don't
I
see
told you
no.
it was free. They can look
you
it
don't
up.
see no copy
Well,
of
$30
the
is
screen.
not much.
Or $40 or $50. But if you got to pay 6 or 7 or 8 different places,
That's
to,
right.
to,
That's
to,
right.
to look for a place, then them $50 adds up. 50 times 8.
Right.
That's $400 that could be used going towards the security deposit,
Another
going
thing,
towards the
TV Land,
rent.
guess what? Now I know they know good and well who they gonna give the place to the first
Sure
time.
do.
Now look, this is what Love and I did. We went and talked. First of all, I said I wanted to come downstairs. You know, you can say where you want. You know, we don't have none, but we upstairs. Okay, I'm not gonna close that door. Let's go upstairs and look. Okay, so I went up there. All right. He couldn't. You got to. You know, you supposed to have IDs, but some of them people forget to ask, but they ain't forget him. So I said, okay, I want this place. Okay, let's do it next Friday. Okay. Well, you got to come up with this admin fee. You got to come up with all the things I just told you. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it was that Wednesday. I said, well, Friday be here. I want Love to see the place. He said, what you doing here? I said, well, I want Love. I said, well, you second had a place. I want him to go up. We already rented it out. I said, I quit.
2 days later.
No, it was about 4 or 5 days later. I said, that quick? That's still quick, because he said, I can have a place. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then the lady said, I said, well, you got another one. Because I looked on your site, and I seen that last night that you had another. And the lady said, sure do. And guess what the guy said? Yeah, but it's getting ready to be rented out. Now,
So they know
I
who
got out
they're going to
good
rent it to.
Because what if they would have took the money, and then, you know what I'm talking about, the deposit, you see what I'm talking about?
Right.
And then they say that they want you to have it, well, we know not in cash, but in a money order. How come you can't take a check? Because the check would say no, a money order. Okay, the problem with the money order is you got to watch it, because you know what, you can get a money order, and at the currency exchange, and what if it don't work, and they won't give you your money back. How we know? When we lived in Ohio, we got a money order. And then something went down there, we didn't even need the money order, we tried to take it back, and they tell me they got the money order for the people in another country. It was $700 too. I went up to that bank, it was our bank, and I begged them, I said, take this money order, the currency exchange. So you got to watch it with the money orders at the currency exchange. The best money order gets the post office money order.
Yeah, because they got to
I've
keep
never
records
taken
of
one out, so I've never done that. I've never gone through that process.
Yeah. If you ever know somebody that, you know, in the future, that had to get a money order for a rent or something like that, tell them go to post office.
Okay.
Because, boy, they won't give you money.
Okay, Patrice, not
Go ahead.
meaning to interrupt you, but I just want to interject this at this point. It was 3 things like the UD amnesty bill, to tenant training, and the third thing, like Andrea said, that you would be the ideal person for this here. Do you know, in the state of Minnesota, there's not one Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, it's not Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue, not Martin Luther King Jr. Nothing.
Now, I understand Minnesota, I'm correcting you. St. Paul got a little one around the Capitol.
Yeah.
Not in Minneapolis.
Okay.
You never seen one?
Yeah, no. I'm trying to think of if there's anything.
The park, that's it.
There's the park, right?
That's
no
it.
street.
No street.
But see, I wanted them to change West Broadway to Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. You know, like that's where most of the black folks be hanging at, and that's where I think this would help detour a lot of the criminal things that's criminal acts that's taking place over there. You know, because some of these people, they may have a conscience and say, well, I ain't gonna do this on Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. You know, got Martin Luther King, he affected the whole world with his peace, you know, like turn the other cheek thing. And you know, like most people don't want to turn the other cheek, because the other average person, you say, you slap me on my cheek, I'm gonna break your other cheek. and this is the way most people feel.
That's right.
But Martin Luther King, after studying behind Mahatma Gandhi, he came up with the same thing Mahatma Gandhi. In other words, it's ways to resolving your problems without a bloodshed. You know, like sometimes you have to back up, or you have to just shake it off, or what have you. You know, like most of us weren't taught that way, you know, to just shake it off. You know, like, because I remember my grandmama coming out there, and my brother was fighting Fred Cunningham. and she said, if you don't whoop him, I'm gonna whoop you.
That's the way we was taught.
Yeah, that's the way we
That's
was
right.
taught. And
That's where I taught my kids too. That's what it is.
Yeah.
If you better not run. No such thing, no bullies. You better not let nobody threaten to beat you up. Now that's why you're gonna get a good whooping if you did not,
fight back, defend yourself.
That's the way, So most black people, I can say it like that. The most black people, that's the way we was raised. We're not gonna let nobody intimidate us or bully us. Because which one you gonna be scared, the people or your mom?
Your mom.
Right.
Mom, because mama didn't play. When she braided that ironing cord up, you was in for a whooping, a really, really good whooping.
And my mom used to switch. Go get that switch. So that's the way they did.
Right.
Belts, and you was good for a long time. Now
Sure
so that's enough. We talked about that, but we gotta give him time to talk love.
Yeah.
Go ahead. We just talk.
Jeremiah, tell us
It's
something
all
about
good.
what you've
I
been
love
doing.
listening to you guys go on and tell stories. I think the idea of having MLK Drive or Boulevard is really important, and I never quite given it a second thought. But when you said that there wasn't one, you were right. I couldn't think of where there would be one in the city. And so that'd be something I'm interested in looking into and figuring out how we pursue
good.
that.
Cause Bobby Joe Champion, like he's well, I know you know him.
Yeah, of course.
He worked on getting it and KMOJ and Bishop Howell on Broadway and
Bishop Howell really loves it.
Yeah.
He said he can see his church. See,
Yeah.
Shiloh. He said, "Oh yeah, that sounds good." Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike Wynn, emerged.
Right,
They
emerged.
all like him.
Yeah.
So
Matter of fact, we got a lot of signatures too.
you sure did.
Ooh, I forget how many signatures. We got
Close
a
to
couple of
2,000.
Yeah,
Close to
I know it's a
2,000
couple of thousand. Yeah.
But they stonewalled us and stuff. Cause what was her name? Linda Higgins. She's talking about change Plymouth to she wanted us to change Plymouth to Martin Luther King.
But I think she was right. Look what they did on Plymouth.
Well, they built a lot.
Look what they did on Plymouth.
Yeah.
The Iraq, all them.
But on Broadway, they did some beautiful things too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, where that liquor store used to be, where Jackie Cherryhome had blocked the streets off.
I forgot the man's name.
Scott.
Scott, that's him.
And he built that real big old liquor store across the street from where he had the other one, and built a building on top of it and stuff. I mean, it's real big.
That's actually 26th Street.
And the apartments over there is not real expensive. Like you can get a one bedroom with that for about $700. Yeah.
You must be on nothing up here is that cheap. It must be what you call it, subsidy.
Yeah. So it's
Subsidy.
Right.
People can't really
affordable
afford.
housing. Got some
Oh, you
deeply
think so?
affordable. Got some. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's affordable housing unit there. So income restricted. Yeah.
Wait, but see, like they always
But I
talking.
agree, it's a good building, especially
It's beautiful.
across the street. It was, kind of that building was falling apart, and then there was the temporary building that was over there. Now there's a real building with some good space in there.
Yeah. We're surprised. You know that building on Lori and what is it? Lori and Lindale.
Lindale.
We're surprised that was built right there.
They built it. They built
yeah.
up pretty quick too, cause
We used to live
remember
around the corner.
when I
Oh
caught
yeah, that's right.
On 26th and 3rd.
one time I ran into some demons over there.
Not the time to talk about demons, Jerome. That's a spiritual warfare show. We gotta stay. I had to tell him to stay focused. That's a spiritual warfare show. But we should live around the corner on 26th and 3rd. Okay. And so, boy, it was 5 gunshots. It really was where we lived.
We used to find people on our porch
Next
dead.
door, now on our porch, 2 of them in the yard, one right there. But they, the police got the bad people, and then one between. That girl got shot 8 times. Oh boy, we were sick.
Yeah, she was so pretty.
Yeah.
She
was pretty,
She was one of the
Have you
prettiest girls.
heard of her name, Fran? Francesca. And that was the day after 4th of July, like 5 years ago.
Okay.
And then her cousin, and she died, and the cousin got shot in at 5 in the morning. I woke him up. I said, "Oh, the police everywhere. Look at somebody." And then somebody got stabbed in September in the yard. Remember that, Jerome?
So that's when we left out of Minneapolis and went to Brooklyn Center.
No, they still was doing stuff over there. They said, because we still got friends over there.
Yeah.
And they say, so you know why? That wall. See, that's dangerous. To move, right by that wall, the expressway, that brown wall. So people do stuff, and they get away with it because it's dark over there, and the wall is not open and stuff. But I was just thinking, when I first seen that Lindale Lori, I said, they're gonna be shooting over here too. That's right down there, and that 4th Street, But that's what they need, a lot of policemen. They really do,
No, well,
for,
really,
security.
like they need what they did in Chicago, even though
The blue lights.
the blue lights, like on almost every other corner is a blue light, is stuff, like where you could just push a button.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
And it call the police to that immediate spot. You ain't got to push no names down. But if you push that button, the police will show up. And they need that in Minneapolis. They need it in Brooklyn Center too.
Well, I'm gonna tell you where they got one that I seen too. Okay, when you go on towards St. Paul. And
Over south.
Como. Keep going from Como. Keep straight down Como. And then you enter over, going to St. Paul. Let me see. I forgot the name of the street, but anyway, I seen one blue light my very first time. One.
Yeah, but they're going to get them over here.
It's on 69th. Okay. Now, we live in Brooklyn City. I'm just looking right there, just thinking. Okay, 69th and Brooklyn Boulevard. You know what 69th Brooklyn Boulevard? Now, if you go up to 69th before you get to France, there's another blue light.
Well, hopefully the problem doesn't get so bad that we need
But
it
they
like
need
that.
Well, it is over north. They be shooting and killing and stuff.
We need it now.
And I'm going to tell you why. Love was exactly right. No, we don't want you TV Land to do crime. We really don't. But if they keep going up on the rent, people got to eat.
They're going to do
They don't
something.
have no livable wage jobs. They need more than one. Guess what? They will rob. They say, I ain't got nothing to lose. At least I have free rent? You go to jail. A place to stay.
A roof over his head, 3 square meals a day.
Where it's slippery at. They got to do something here. They got to do it quick. It don't make no sense. This is a baby Chicago. It really is.
It really is, because most of the people I know
It's
are
from Chicago.
from Chicago. Most
Chicago
people
and
I
Gary.
meet, yeah.
And it's a shame they can kill you and then go back home. And
Sure
how
can.
can you find them?
You ain't going to be able to
Because
find
did you hear what they say about the news in Chicago? They said
51
very few,
people.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about that. They said very few people are found that murder people in Chicago.
Oh, wow, yeah.
You heard about that? And all the blue lights. And you mean to tell me you can't find them? You can't find the people that's shooting?
Yeah, that's why I think that, look, police are important, right? But they don't prevent the actual crime.
They sure
No, they
don't.
don't.
And so I think, I really want to figure out how are we investing in things that prevent the crimes from happening in the first place.
Yeah.
We've got a good program called the Group Violence Intervention Program.
Oh.
Where we've got this group of folks men and women that used to be sort of in that lifestyle.
Okay.
Who figured out a way
good.
out. And their whole job is to let these young folks know, hey, look, there's different pathways out of this, right? And there's certain benefits if there are no shots fired between certain groups, and gangs can enter into the program and get certain services. And I think that there's some success to the program,
Right.
But all programs that work are always so small. So I think that myself and Councilmember Cunningham, who represents Ward 4, the other part of North Minneapolis, the other half of North Minneapolis, he's big on violence prevention. Right? And
The one that took Bobby Johnson's place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We never met him. We don't know him, but maybe I'll call him. Let him be on the show.
Reach
I'll
out
give him
to
a call.
reach out to Philippe, and I think he's big on the violence prevention and figuring out solutions that actually work. And that doesn't mean that we don't need police, right? You're always going to need police, especially when a crime happens, to help folks and investigate.
Get to culprits.
But the more we can invest also in making sure that the crimes don't happen in the first place, like you said, the things that support people the most, that drive crime down the most, when people have somewhere to live, when they're earning enough income,
Right.
Now some people are going to want to try to go out and live a certain kind of lifestyle, no matter if they have access.
No matter
to a
what.
good job. But those people are so few.
Yeah.
And what you're experiencing most are people who are hungry and traumatized.
Right.
And the combination of those two things, it's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, it is.
A recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
You heard that from Jeremiah, people. Now, Jeremiah, Andrea was telling us about some homeless projects that you guys are looking into. Because actually, homelessness is unlawful. They even had a pamphlet out about 10, 15 years ago. It's unlawful to be homeless. Now, a lot of people, they're homeless. It's not because anything that they did. It's because of lack of opportunity. Just like I was saying, the play I wrote, The Plight of the Homeless, like the girl, I was on the bus and she had 3 kids with her, one in her arms and 2 walking on the side of her, and the baby she had in her arms died.
Yeah, this is real life. This is not the
real.
play.
No.
Tell them what happened in the real life.
The baby just had turned blue. By the time I got to the building, one of my partners had picked her up in his little new red Cadillac and took her to the building and stuff. And there's always a bunch of people in the social room down there across the street from KMOJ, where they used to be. In any event, the baby had turned blue, and the woman, she started crying hysterically.
Yeah, she did. The baby died.
Yeah, and the baby died and stuff. And that woman, they ended up having to put her in the hospital because she was so upset and stuff. They had to sedate her and everything else. But the reason that she was walking down that way, she had left Mary Jo's, and Mary Jo's didn't have no room for her. And that should have been some place that baby, that woman, and her 3 children should have been able to go to.
Yeah, because I would put pallets, let them sleep on the floor. Don't go outside, sleep on the floor. Don't
just
go.
like the park board. Now they have all these park boards closed up during the wintertime, and that's the reason. Matter of fact, I got over here 600 and something people that have died. Now all of these people have died. Now these was the years that they died, and I stopped doing it after that year there. And there was 600 and something during that time. That was 685 individuals who had died from freezing to death. Yeah, this was in this state here.
Yeah. What about the man and the woman froze to death? You heard about that? In that,
on Broadway and
by KMOJ, the bus shelter.
Yep. I did hear about that. Yeah, I think it's a huge issue. Last year the city sort of set up this emergency shelter that we were able to get folks into, kind of right in time before the polar vortex swept through.
Yeah,
and had all those deep negative temperatures.
Yeah, that was something else.
It was terrible.
It was bad. It was really bad. And so, but traditionally before I got in office, up until last year, with this new with some of the new council members, myself, Andrew Jenkins, Philippe Cunningham, and a few others, the city hadn't dabbled in addressing homelessness, right?
We know.
That was always
we used to march.
we always sort of said that. Well, that's a county issue, right?
Right.
And now I think that while the county may have the expertise, and I appreciate that the county takes the lead on that, I do think it's important that for all hands to be on deck. It's not good enough to just say, okay, we'll let the county take care of it, let the state take care of it. The cities, we're trying to play a role, and what exactly that looks like, and how do we do it in a way that is most effective, and how do we do it so that it's sustainable, so we can afford to keep doing it every year.
That's right.
These are still questions that we've got to answer. But last year, the response was this emergency shelter, and I'm hoping that we don't have to do it again because it was expensive, and I'm not sure it was the best option. But hopefully, we can learn something and do something a little bit better this upcoming year.
Well, all these field houses in all of these parks, they should be able to be utilized. Because when I first came up here in 1991, it was mostly just the Native Americans who was dying and freezing to death and stuff. But now you get so many people that have migrated here from St. Louis, Gary, Chicago, different places, and a lot of these people aren't able to get jobs soon as they get here. And so as a result, it's going to be a lot of homelessness, and it still is a lot of homeless. Like around our house, they're building a whole bunch of buildings, but how people going to afford a $240,000 building? And here they're running around not even able to pay $700 a month rent. So they're looking at things kind of cockeyed as far as I'm concerned. Like charity begins at home and spreads abroad. Now, if you're going to help these people, if you're really serious about helping them, then help them where they're at right now. Focus on getting them some jobs. Focus on getting them some way that they can pay their bills and stuff. Like, matter of fact, I'm glad I thought about that. I just graduated this past Friday.
Oh, congratulations.
Hey, right, let's give him a hand.
and I never knew how to do no computers.
Tell him where you graduated from.
The Northeast.
Northeast, East Side Community Center, yeah.
Yeah, and they really taught me a lot about computers, because I didn't know nothing about computers. I didn't even know how to cut them on. Patrice, every time I had to do something with computers, it had to be her.
You know what? And I was like, come on, he said, I don't want to, I'm too old to learn about computers. He never wanted to do it.
Right.
He never wanted to do it. And now that's the way he gonna get paid. He got to do it so he won't get paid.
Right.
That's why he's doing it. Everybody had to log in, with the.
I know how to log in and log out now. But unfortunately, it's 10 minutes after.
But they'll come and
6.
tell us. She'll be 5 minutes in there. And she'll tell you.
I do got to get going.
Do you?
Yeah. You said it's 10 minutes after 6?
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I do got to get going to my next thing, but it's been a pleasure sitting down
Thank
with
you
you guys.
very much.
Thank you
And
so much.
make
Thank
sure, leave your number here.
Okay, I will, absolutely.
Yeah, and you make sure that Kim get in touch with Patrice.
Okay, we'll
and
talk
Keith
after
get in
this. We
touch
still
with me.
on air, Lord.
Are we
He
still on
get
the air?
carried
Oh.
away. He get carried away.
I just
So,
get excited. I ain't seen Jeremiah
I ain't seen since he was a little boy,
neon
about
to
15, 14 years old.
Well, it's
Yeah,
good
man,
to know
brother.
that some of the fights that I've been taking on, you guys have been in the struggle for a long
Man,
time.
we've been
Yes.
been fighting for a long
Yeah,
time.
and let me tell you, and I forgot to tell my own husband. And then I'm gonna tell Keith too, or you can tell him. All right, your dad's name is Keith, and your name is Jeremiah, right?
Yep.
Well, my nephew, my sister, only boy, his name is Jeremiah, and his middle name is Keith.
Oh, wow.
Ain't that something? He got
That's
both of the
amazing.
names. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
Isn't that something?
Yeah,
I thought
that
about. I
is.
said, wait a minute, he got both of the names, so
That's
Yeah.
funny. That's great.
So
Yeah,
do you want to leave any remarks or tell them how they can get a hold of you for anything or what?
Absolutely. So you can always find me at City Hall, and you can reach out to my office. The number is 612. Now I'm going to mess it up. 673-2205.
Yeah.
As well as you can email myself or my staff. You can find those email addresses are long, but you can find them on the city website. And every Saturday, and I let everybody know this, every Saturday, unless I'm sick or out of town, I do open office hours at Sammy's Avenue Eatery on West Broadway.
Okay.
Emerson and West Broadway. And so even if I'm busy during the week,
Yeah.
you can always drop in on me
Yeah.
on a Saturday morning from 10 to noon.
10
And
to
I'm-
noon.
10 to noon, and I'm there, and my whole purpose for being there is to listen to folks, know what the problems are, and address your concerns in the neighborhood, whether they're
That's good.
big concerns or really specific,
Great.
So there you go. Sometimes folks come in and their pet was taken by animal control. Sometimes folks come in and they want to talk about workforce development or housing, right? So whether it's big or small, I'm there to listen and take those issues on. So.
Well, that's good, TV Land. Sammy's Eatery is right under Emerge.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He forgot. Well,
Yeah,
God bless you.
They used to be our church building.
Yeah, it did. Miracle Mission years ago. Okay, well, God bless you. We love you. You can call us, Mother Love and Brother Love, 763-703-0546, 763-703-0546. Love once and last month.
Okay, the television audience, remember, now we have Jeremiah, and he's going to be supporting us too, as far as getting that West Broadway changed to Martin Luther King Jr. Drive.
Yeah, we'll get started.
And this UD amnesty bill, people, we need your support on that, and the tenant training and the certification program, because a lot of people do not know how to be a good tenant. And you know, like they say, charity begins at home and spreads abroad. That's the same thing he was talking about, how we can stop crime before it happens. Well, you know, like you spare the rod, you spoil the child. Now they talking about now, you spank your child, you going to jail. I think that's one of the dumbest laws ever.
Well, love, he said he got to go, baby. He said he got to go.
Okay.
Tenant training, you call me.
Jeremiah,
You call
I
us,
appreciate
you want
it.
me to tenant training.
Absolutely.
God bless you all, and have a blessed week, and power to the people.
Power to the people.
Power to the people.
Okay, I can take this.